Dr. Dinç is the recipient of the Islamic Development Bank Institute Smart Economy Lab Award. His research areas include geoeconomics, geofinance, Islamic economics, Islamic finance, insurance, banking, shadow banking. He has authored numerous books, articles, publications, and organized symposiums in these fields. He has also developed and led many projects in Islamic finance in collaboration with institutions such as the United Nations, UN-affiliated organizations, the COMSEC of the Organization of Islamic Cooperation, the Islamic Development Bank, and the leading Turkey's national organizations. Professor Dr. Yusuf Dinç graduated from Dumlupınar University's Department of Economics. He earned his PhD from Marmara University's Banking and Insurance Institute, while a visiting researcher at Duke University School of Law. Currently, Dr. Dinç is a faculty member in the Department of Islamic Economics and Finance at Istanbul Selahattin Zaim University, and a member of the Education Board of IOFI, where he serves as advisor to IOM Islamic Philanthropic Fund and columnist in Yeni Safak. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Yusuf Dinç, please.
Assalamu alaikum. So thanks for introducing and thanks for having me. Just to mention a bit about Sabahattin Zaim University, since Brother Sheikh made some advertisement for IBA. Zaim also is a global center for Islamic economics finance, for education, of course. We have 3-level program in 3 languages, undergraduate, master's, and PhD, Arabic, English, and Turkish. We have like 20% international students. Recently, my PhD students are from Canada, Jordan, Bangladesh, also Syria. There is an international potential for our university. And again, thanks for having me. I will introduce you a concept, Ibade intermediation. But first, I will compare infaq and philanthropy for you, so that can make a bit difference. Then I will try to draw a picture for you to have a global vision for Islamic social finance with a global Zakat fund model developed by me for Guterres. It was on the sideline of the 79th UN General Assembly last year, but I don't know, Guterres is leaving in 6 months, and I am hoping to have a Muslim UN Secretary General for the first time, inshallah, maybe. Huh? We should dua for this. We cannot lobby, of course, but Muhammad Yunus has such potential. Previously, Baradei was kind of a nominee. You cannot nominate. Anyway, Trump is not leaving anything, even Papa. So most probably the UN Secretary General will be American also. But starting from this point, we can understand how the global governance is coming closer to Muslim world, inshallah. So that is the scope. I will explore some philosophical and institutional foundations of Islamic social finance. I will draw philosophy from the critics of Heidegger's subjectivity problem, and maybe for the first time I will show you how we solve this problem. There is no other way than infaq, indeed. Then I will conceptualize some Ibade intermediation concept that is not common or that is not normal for Islam, But when it is zakat, sadaqah, we have ibadi intermediation. Then I will introduce you the global zakat fund model, inshallah. So that is the first sentence of Prof. Ahmet Tabakolu's Introduction to Islamic Economics book from 1980s. That is the first Turkish book. He says, the central value for Islamic economics is giving, in fact, spending, not saving for selfishness, iktinas. I guess that sentence makes huge differences on our ontological position and philosophical position. So it really helps to me to understand the difference between Islamic economics and capitalism, even between Islamic economics and Islamic capitalism. And alhamdulillah, we are discussing social finance mainly today with NACIF. That is the only way to draw a line between Islamic capitalism and Islamic economics. I have been in every part of the Islamic finance industry, like international, I contribute to international organizations. We are together with Kabir Hoja in IOF Education Board. I have been in market player 10 years. I worked for Al Baraka. I was board of the regulatory body in Turkey, projects, media, academia, everywhere. And believe me, there is no other field for now, segment of Islamic finance, that we can draw the line between Islamic economics and Islamic capitalism, except Islamic social finance. So all the things started or changed in 19th century for us, for many Ottoman states, especially for Turkey. Turkey made a decision. Turkey chose capitalism instead of Islamic economics. Turkey chose, in other words, social state instead of social society. And that was the point. According to Timur Kuran, we killed the Waqf. Waqf was the third industry. And I'm a faculty member of a Waqf university now in Turkey. It's still embedded in our civilization. In Turkey, you can have, university can be public, either Waqf. No private owned universities possible in Turkey. So it is embedded in the state, but that was a huge shift. So to convert the Ottoman into a republic had the meaning of turning into capitalism, all the regulations or understanding. So we lost our third sector. So that was a barrier between the state and the real sector, the Waqf, I mean. So that barrier lost. Sometimes state manipulated the real sector. Sometimes real sector manipulated the state. So till Erdogan, we had faced many. And sometimes altogether, they manipulated the people because of the absence of the Waqf. And I understand the Europeans especially saw the gap in the system, and they introduced this cooperative model. It is missing with us also. Yani, for me, it is modern Waqf cooperative, but we pay little attention. But the system in Europe, if it is healthy, it is with cooperative. Without cooperative, it wouldn't work, I believe. And many believe now, that's why we are discussing Islamic economics. That is not by chance. The whole world understands the capitalism is coming to an end. Capitalism will not create good for all. It can do its job for some capitalists from now on. And we are at the edge of a decision. Either we will be financial capitalist, anarcho-capitalist, or communal capitalist, Chinese model. So many countries, of course, doesn't accept to be anarcho-capitalist, and like Turkey, there is a strong pattern to turn a Chinese model of capitalism, communal capitalism. So we are now again in a point to make a decision between these two, or to turn back, rujuu to our own civilization. We should have the social state, or we should have social society. This will be the real decision, and these kind of meetings, conferences, are giving chance to us to discuss this. So, capitalism can be social. That is John Stuart Mill. If you are from economists, you know him. He's the author of utilitarianism. And it is the main idea of capitalist economics. So he says, no one has a moral right to our generosity or beneficency, because we are not morally bound to practice those virtues toward any given individual. That is a result of cogito ergo sum, okay? That is a result of grounding being into thought. Now I will read you a passage. It is not in this slide. And you see, I am the only one who has NACIF format, alhamdulillah. And hopefully NACIF do some good for me and bring us some non-boycott drink here, inshallah. Inshallah. So, I cannot show it to you, but I will read. Very impressive. That is a passage from the first Turkish tefsir made by Elmalılı Hamdi Yazar, 1920s, 1930s. Latin alphabet, secular alphabet, Turkish tefsir. You granted me what they call vicdan. Vicdan is zamir, conscience, as an encounter, and what they call vücud, existence, as a manifestation. Through this encounter, I find myself within myself, and I attain my own being. Thus, I reach other beings and annex their conscience to my own. I consider it as an answer to Descartes. That is, conscitia ergo sum. If you start a being from thought, it brings subjectivity. But if you connect a vücud and a vicdan, zamir, it will introduce objectivity. This infaq concept, I will compare this to infaq and philanthropy with a table. It can sound a bit leftist, but believe me, I try to be objective. So infaq is the spending for pleasing Allah. And we find the clue from Zariyat, and in their wealth there was a rightful share for the beggar and the deprived. That is just the opposite what Stuart Mill is proposing to us. In fact, merges justice and generosity, while philanthropy remains within the domain of individual compassion without systemic obligation. Okay, I will not take philanthropy into a bad side, but in fact, Islamic philanthropy is something else you can understand. This character of philanthropy creates the subjectivity or cause the subjectivity, so the recipient, beneficiary, and the donor may have different intentions. and it is harmful. And we shouldn't please the donor, or we shouldn't please the beneficiary even. We should please Allah as being donor or beneficiary. So I will show a table to you. There is this ontological, epistemological, methodological, systemic, and theological vision differences of infaq and philanthropy, and what can say at the bottom, this creates subjectivity. Infaq, indeed, of course, it is an ibadah at some point, or with some methods. Even sadaqah is ibadah, but zakat is directly ibadah. It should be accepted by Allah. To be accepted, it should be good for the beneficiary. And what is good for the beneficiary is his, her objectivity. That is the only way that can solve subjectivity problem. In this whole philosophy, they are still arguing on this. And here in this hall, we are solving this issue for everyone. Because we will solve many other issues for the world, inshallah. So I will skip this part, and I will discuss this ibadah worship, because there is institutional problem, as Brother Samet mentioned as well. So we collect the funds, where it goes, we don't know. So I made a study. I studied every type of, or every segment of Islamic finance industry. There is one novelty. There is only one novelty indeed. How many minutes I have? 5 minutes. So I better be quick. Indeed, I want to discuss the cooperation and competition issue more, but we don't have many time. But we should understand that the legitimacy of capitalism comes from Darwin, because capitalism's central idea is competition. And now the biology is discusses if the species are surviving with competition or cooperation. At least for human, it is something else. We know, not only competition. And Islam doesn't ignore competition, but it disciplines the competition. And now capitalists even discuss a balance between competition and cooperation. If you take competition as the main idea, cooperation will be still John Stuart Mill something. So you cannot make cooperation under competition. If it is your paradigm, it will not work. If your paradigm is cooperation, then competition for good or competition for value added can be possible, inshallah. So what I see Islamic finance industry is experiencing some kind of Islamic capitalism. That is a real critique. But we are at the very beginning, and for example, Turkey, we have more than 40 years experience for Islamic finance industry. They started something, they didn't know what they are doing, but since 10 years, 20 years, we have academy, so we are discussing these issues. Then, and in the near future, we will see a different industry, inshallah. So that is the result of my analysis for fundraising, fund allocation in Islamic finance, either banking, others. The real novelty is fundraising, for sure, but the real competition for good should be on the distribution part, fund allocation part. And it doesn't come. We don't have a strategy. For example, in Turkey, zakat means student scholarship, nothing else. Most probably it is similar here, like, Monsieur, you got zakat for your Boğaziçi experience. Huh? Yeah, It is only student scholarship. We don't have masakin, fukara, we don't have rikab, others. There is no strategy for distribution. We just have some sensitive geographies. If it is Gaza, if it is Sudan, if it is Yemen, if it is Dadaab, we are focusing on those areas, and we are a bit reaching the real need. But those campaigns are always there, and there is no proper strategy for overall Islamic industry. And the fund collection, it will be zakat, sadaqah, or waqf. What else? Yani? You cannot be innovative there. If you want to be innovative, the other one will do the same, the other institute. So fund allocation, fundraising part will be same. Fund allocation part should be a bit competitive, competition in good. So after this critical observation, and after I should discuss many problems of the current Islamic social finance institutions. In the literature, I will not go to details, but Samit explained a lot during his presentation. I am proposing a model, a global zakat fund. Of course, I studied this with DG's advisory office. So that is a UN centered project. Give me 2 minutes, inshallah. If I am done, I will finish. I will show you now. Maybe first time you are seeing a global zakat fund concept. I don't know. Even this is enough value added for me. So because, you know, in the literature, anyone in Islamic finance field, in academy, dreams a global zakat fund, and I could be able to visualize it. We had 2 proposals in this report. Report is available on my Google academic profile. I can also send. One is centralized model. The other one is decentralized model. Our project study was including ISDB as well as a custodian. Because of this, you will see ISDB in the project. So in this model, there will be a global zakat fund, collect the funds from individuals and institutions, not only zakat, but also sadaqah, other Muslim alms, and will distribute to UN agencies and other Islamic financial institutions, Islamic social finance institutions. They are not excluded from the model. How we are expecting to increase the efficiency of funds collected with project-based fund allocation from the global zakat fund to the agencies or Islamic social finance institutions. So we can partner each other in this model. They can individually work, but we can partner them, and they will reach the beneficiary. And there will be an operational office in this model to monitor, evaluate, audit, and coordinate the fund's performance. And we have a second model proposed that is decentralized model. Agencies and Islamic financial institutions themselves raise funds from individuals and institutions. And here, ISDB with Fiqh Academy was part also, will audit and monitor the compliance of the operations of those Islamic social finance institutions. So for global ones only, for locals, of course, ISTB cannot do such a work, but mainly the first model was more accepted as the whole fund would go to ISDB as a custodian, and the global zakat fund will send the transfer letter to ISDB, to the field operators, and they would reach the beneficiaries in most efficient way. Of course, we need a pilot maybe, But that is, for now, most probably the only serious model introduced, at least Guterres office was keen. They bring the model to the sideline of the General Assembly. Hopefully, this one or another will come up, because there is an absence, or there is a vacuum in the global governance. Why UN is coming close to Islamic social finance? Because of the absence of US aid. So the US aid caused a vacuum in the system, and this vacuum doesn't pull Islamic social finance, but getting closer UN and global governance to Islamic world. So it is time for us. We can show our civilization if we can. It is not the time for to long the past. It is time to embrace and build the future, inshallah, for all of us. Thank you.